Hi beautiful people, kindly give this video a thumbs up as I share with you this native, very intensely flavored cow meat light soup. My name is Sianoki, so blessed to have you here. Now I have with me here some fresh cow meat or beef that I grabbed from my butcher, and to that I'll be adding some onions, scotch bonnet pepper, garlic and ginger. I'll be blending this, but in this dry blender I don't want to add any water at all. So after blending it, I'm just going to add that to my meat. Now I have this mixed herbs. The recipe is on the channel. It has some basil, some parsley, um, mint, okay, and then I have added that to the meat. Now this spice right here is a mix of cloves, negro pepper, black pepper, calabash nutmeg, fenugreek seeds. I've actually created a playlist of all my traditional homemade spices, so you can check out on them. These two spices, the herbs and then the traditional one, are going to really intensify the flavors in this meal. Now I've added some seasoning cube and another homemade spice blend made with coriander, with rosemary, with fennel and cumin. And I am being generous with the salt. This has got to be the general and the saltiest part of the soup, okay? Else you end up with a nice tasting soup, but the meat is going to be very bland, and we don't want that. So I'll give this a nice stir and then bring it to a boil. But then I'll be adding some onions and carrots to this. I feel like, well, they are hard. So at this point, I might as well just add them because stirring them is not really going to break them apart. So I'll cover this, and from time to time, I will just come in, give this a stir. All the juices that you'll be seeing around this are juices from the meat and the veggies. Doing it this way will ensure that all the spices that we have added will get to every part of the meat and will bring out that intense flavor that I'm looking for in this particular recipe. After about 15 to 20 minutes of stirring this is what we have. And at this point, I am going to add in our fresh tomatoes. And when I add in the fresh tomatoes, I'm expecting the steam to just boil it down and soften it so that we can just go ahead and blend. So after about 5 minutes, I open it, and then our tomatoes are nicely soft and are in the state where we can blend them nicely, and it also add some flavor. You know, whenever your tomatoes is boiled and you add it to the soup, that gives it a different feel. So this time I'm adding some water. The whole idea is for the carrots and the onions to float on the surface so that I can easily get them out of the soup. Okay, so that is what I am doing at this point. And again, if you are liking this video already, kindly give me a thumbs up as it goes a long way to help the channel. Thank you. So, as you can see, I have some yam boiling on the side. I'll be pounding yam to go with this. Okay, so we've blended this nicely, nice and smooth, and then I poured everything back into my soup. And I'll be washing my blender and adding it to the soup. I have some sweet potatoes growing in my backyard, and the leaves are edible. That I got to know from Nanabe's kitchen. So I'm just going to wash them and add them to the soup. Why? Because they're edible and I have them growing in my backyard. So why not? Okay. So I have added them. Ideally, I would also have added some basil, but as at the time of preparing this soup, I didn't have it. Now, adding the sweet potato leaves to the soup, it was so good. And for some extra heat, because I want the soup to be spicy, okay, I'm adding some pepper, and then I'll just let that simmer down nicely. While this was happening, we pounded yam for the very first time. This is our first time having yam fufu, and I'll be sharing the video. I'll be sharing the recipe in another video. So do watch out for this, okay? Now, this is the point where you pour some of the soup over your fufu and lift the fufu graciously so that the soup can go underneath, such that when you are ready to dig in, you do that effortlessly. Guys, this was so good. I was so generous with the local spices. Usually I just take a little, but this time I went in with a whole tablespoon and I loved the flavors in this. It was so delicious, and having the soup itself, you may find that very comforting. The leftover, we bought some rice. I took mine to work and I had it for lunch. It was absolutely good with all the dried herbs that I use and all the local spices in there. I'll be leaving the playlist of all of them in my description box. Do check them out, do give it a try, and please like this video as it is a way of supporting me. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again with another video. Bye.